How to operate a successful millionaire salon, $1 million producing salon, without the owner's consistent involvement. The salon is going to be a business and we're going to operate it as a business, not as a independent contractor, right? You just kind of open the business, we open the business, and then we start to hire people.
The beauty industry moves fast. But building a millionaire salon requires more than momentum. With over 30 years of hands-on experience, we help salon owners implement proven systems that increase profitability, strengthen leadership, and drive sustainable growth.
This is where salon owners evolve. Millionaire Salon Consultant.
Hey guys, my name is Sandy. I am doing a recording for you from Millionaire Salon Consultants. Today we want to do a video for you on how to operate a successful millionaire salon, $1 million producing salon, without the owner's consistent involvement, or without you, the owner, having to be always at the salon to put fires out, so to speak, right? So we just started our company. If you're new to us, remember to like and subscribe if you like the content we're putting out, and you could press the little notification bell so you'll be notified each time another video comes out. Our goal and our aim is to educate salon owners or cosmetologists as to how to successfully operate a successful salon without salon burnout. Salon burnout is real. I've been in the industry since 1991, long time ago, and I know it's really easy to get burned out in the salon because we're trying to do everything all at one time. So how do we operate without burnout? So how do we operate it without having to always be there? We can't take vacation, or if we take vacation, we gotta close the salon for the entire time, and we don't want to do that. We want to operate a business. The salon is going to be a business, and we're going to operate it as a business, not as a independent contractor, because that's basically what it is here. You're an independent contractor if the salon is totally depend upon you, and if you're not there, it cannot run. And if you take a few days off, everything goes up in flames, right? So how do we do that? So think about this, guys. Typically, you go to beauty school or cosmetology school, you come out of school and you start doing service, whatever the services you went to school for. And then as you start to do the service and you start to build your clientele, you're telling yourself, maybe I should go rent a booth, or maybe I should go rent a suite and start my business, right? That's how most beauty industrial companies get started. So then you start there and then you start getting a lot of clientele. So then you're like, oh, I should open a salon. And then you go open the salon. And then when you do open the salon, you don't have a structure, because this is the same thing I did. We don't have a structure as to, initially that's what I did, as to how is this going to be operated. What is it going to look like? Am I going to only open the business when I'm available? If I'm not available, what's that going to look like? What kind of system am I going to have in place? None of this is thought about, right? You just kind of open the business, we open the business, and then we start to hire people. We hire a stylist, 2 stylists, 3 stylists. We have no system in place. We may have a software that make appointments for us. We may have a software that some customers are in, and kind of remind the customers of their appointment when they need to come in. But we have not a structure in the salon. And so after a while, we hire these stylists, and these stylists start to, we're advertising to get customers to come in. When the customers come in, we can't do all the customers. So now we're going to give some of the customers to the stylists that we've hired. These stylists are going to build a clientele. And guess what's going to happen? They are going to leave with the clients that you marketed for, and they're going to leave with the clients. You're going to be upset. You're not going to talk with them, and it's going to keep happening. So how do we build a salon and not have that happen? Because remember, if you are operating the salon like a regular salon and you're hiring stylists and they're coming in and they're doing your clients, or they're building a clientele out of your clients, those clients really belong to them, or so they think. And that's what's going to happen. So when those clients are loyal to that particular stylist, so when that particular stylist leave, those clients are going to leave with the client, and then you're going to have to start back from square one, or you're going to have to start to rebuild your clients again. How do we operate a successful salon without this cycle keep happening? So the first thing you have to do when you're about to open a salon, or when you're thinking of opening one, is how are you going to structure said salon? Structure is going to be important. What is that going to look like? We have to have systems in place and we cannot have any one stylist be responsible for the entire service of any one client. So when a client comes in, one stylist cannot be responsible for shampooing, cutting, curling, styling, whatever of that client. You have to have systems. You have to have shampoo people. You have to have hair cutting people. You have to have different specialists, your hair colorists, your hair extension people. Everybody got to be separated. And when the colorists do their color, or when the hair extension people do their hair extension, somebody else needs to be able to cut and style. So the client doesn't become dependent on any one stylist. That's the only way you're going to operate a successful salon. If you don't do that, what's going to happen is you have one stylist doing the entire thing. And what's going to happen every time a stylist leave or go open their own business or whatever they do, you're going to have to, it's going to affect your bottom line. It's going to affect the money because clients are going to walk out with them. So here's what happened. There's a book called E-Myth that I advise you to read. I really do. E-Myth is by Michael Gerber, and it kind of shows you how to operate a successful salon. But if you don't feel like reading, let's examine that for a little bit here. So the minute you open the salon, you're going to sit down, you're going to write up an operational manual. Your operational manual is going to state in it who is responsible for what. And maybe in the beginning, you're responsible for everything. So maybe in the beginning, you are the receptionist, you're the salon coordinator, you're the stylist, you're the shampoo person, you're the hair extension installer, you're the hair colorist. Maybe all this is you because you're the owner. Maybe that's how you start out, which is fine. Now, when you make so you're going to have to have an operational manual, and then you're going to document the role of each person in the salon that you intend to build out. So in other words, you're going to say to yourself, okay, I'm going to hire a salon coordinator. What's the job of the salon coordinator? The salon coordinator and the receptionist can be the same person, but you have to outline what is their job. Are they going to answer the phone, make appointments, check inventory, make sure the salon is clean, make sure the salon staff shows up on time? What is the role of the salon coordinator? Then I'm going to hire a shampoo person. What is the role of the shampoo person? What exactly do they do? Do they only just rinse people's hair out, shampoo, and that's it? Are they educating the client on the kind of shampoo and conditioners that they need to use at home so you could build your retail sector? Because remember, a successful salon is going to have 60% retail and 40% service. So is a shampoo person going to be trained as to how to tell the guests, hey, I'm using this particular product in your hair, and if you ever shampoo your hair at home, this is what you should do. If you go to the pool or you go to the beach and you need to shampoo your hair, make sure this is what you're using. Are they a part of the team? Because everything is a system and got to be put together as a system. So the role of the shampoo person. Then the role of each hairstylist. Each hairstylist, what are they going to do? Are they going to just be styling? Are they going to be shampooing as well? Which they shouldn't be, but that's going to be in your operational system. What is the role of each hairstylist? Am I going to have specialty hairstylists that specializes in hair coloring, hair extensions, hair care, hair replacement? What is that going to look like? Am I going to have barbers? And if I do have barbers, what roles are they going to play? Are they only going to cut guys' hair? Are they also going to cut women's hair? So you have to have your operational manual, and you have to have the role of each person in the manual. Each person you hire, what role will they play in your business? And what is going to be the consequence if they do not operate under the role that you hire them to do? Another thing you got to do is you got to have an organizational chart. Your organizational chart will list each person in sequence. It's probably going to have you at the top as the CEO. From there, you're probably going to have your salon coordinator or your manager, then your salon coordinator, then your stylist, then maybe your shampoo people, then your maintenance staff. But you have to have an organizational chart that's going to show the role of each person. And it doesn't matter if you don't have all these persons in the beginning. This is what you want. This is what your goal is. So when you open the salon, maybe it's just you and a shampoo person. I don't know. And then as you start to hire people, and remember guys, even if you're going to rent a booth or rent a suite, this also comes into play. So when you rent your booth or you rent your suite, you're still going to have an organizational chart. You're still going to have roles of each person, because your goal is going to be from the salon booth or from the salon suite, we're going to open a salon. And so as you're opening a salon, when you're starting to look for a location and, negotiating the lease and building out the space, a part of your job is to make sure this organizational chart is done and that each role is specific based upon the kind of salon you want to run. Another thing is your opening hours. Do not make your opening hours be dependent upon you. So if you're telling yourself, I'm gonna work 5 days a week, I'm only gonna work from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., doesn't mean the salon has to be open 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. because if the salon hours is dependent upon you, the salon will only grow to the extent of what you could grow it to. Because you're only one person, you can only do but so much. So you have to make sure that your salon hours is what you want it to be based upon the niche that you chose. Like that means what you're going to specialize in, the location of where you are, basically when is it busy and when is it not so busy. Determine if you're going to have a salon that's open 7 days a week, 5 days a week, whatever you're going to do. The one thing I'll tell you is for a successful salon to be successful, it has to service the majority of the public in your niche. So the majority of the people in your niche, in your area, which means having a salon that opens 7 days a week may be a fantastic idea, maybe 6 days a week. Nothing says you got to close the salon Sundays and Mondays. The only reason why we do this is because we operate a salon a lot of times just based upon what the norm is and based upon everybody else in the salon. But I've had 5 salons actually, 4 in New York and 1 in Florida in my career, and I've always opened the salon 7 days a week, and I've always had shift. Everybody have a different shift and everybody have different days off. You have to operate the salon like any other entity. Think about Walmart, think about Wawa, think about McDonald's or any other fast food chain that's open 7 days a week, except for Chick-fil-A, they're open 6 days a week. Maybe you could do a Chick-fil-A thing at home 6 days a week, doesn't matter. But you have to be open when people want to get the service done. So if you're opening from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and people are at work from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, doesn't make any sense. If you're opening Tuesday through Friday 9 to 5, and then you might stay a little bit later on Friday evening just to get some people out, and then everybody's in the salon Saturday because that's your hours, you're going to lose people and you're going to lose them really fast because people today want convenience. Social media and the cell phones have gotten us into a society of instant gratification. Everybody wants it instantaneously. So when you craft your salon and you start to think about your opening hours, you want to make sure that your opening hours is not dependent upon you. The only way it's not going to be dependent upon you is if you have your organizational chart, if you start hiring people, and you know specifically what their role will play. As you start to hire stylists, every stylist doesn't have to work the same hours. So even if you only start off with 2 stylists, they could have 2 different schedules. One stylist may work Tuesday through Saturday, one might work Sunday through Thursday. You know, it depends, but you have to figure that out. You can't say, okay, everybody's going to come in 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. every day of the week. You can't do that. And also, if you don't want to do 7 days a week, make sure your hours make sense. And make sure you're open after people get off work at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock. Make sure there's some days that you at least have your salon open until at least 9 p.m. Why? Because people are juggling their job, their kids, the pets, sports event, all kind of stuff. And your salon needs to be open or convenient enough so that they're able to get these things done. I had a 24-hour salon at one point, I did. And then at one point I had a salon that was open 7 days a week, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. No, I wasn't working that all time. No, I was not the one in there doing all that stuff. We had different shifts, we had different schedules, we had 3 different shifts in the 24-hour salon. 2 different shifts in the 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. salon. But if you want to have a successful salon, you must do hours that doesn't make sense. The first thing, I think the one thing I got when I left beauty school was, why is every salon opening 10 to 6, 10 to 7, 9 to 5, and people are at work? And then on Saturdays, back in my days, you could hardly get in the salon because everybody came on Saturday because that's the only time they could come. The rest of the time they would be at work and the salons would be closed. So the first thing I told myself is I do not want to have a regular salon. That I don't want to have a regular salon that have regular hours. My salon is going to be different. And that's what we did. So think about your operational hours. Think about the shift. Your shift, your salon shift. Are you going to do maybe a set of stylist work 10 to 6, maybe another set work 1 to 9. If you have 5 to 6 different stations, everybody doesn't have to work the same hours. So that's what you're going to do. Another thing you're going to do is you're going to create a niche, and we talk about this a lot. What is your specialty in your salon? What are you going to specialize in? But if you're going to specialize in, you need to be a master of that specialty, and all the people in your salon need to know about that particular specialty. So when I come to, let's say I want to interview and I want to work in your salon as a hairstylist, and you're like, okay, we specialize in hair color. So if you're specialized in hair color, everybody must be educated on hair color. Everybody must also be educated on all the professional products you're going to retail through the salon. They gotta be educated on the line you're gonna use. So if you're gonna use Matrix or Nexus or whatever the line is, Logix or whatever the line is you're gonna use, you have to be educated on that. Your shampoo people, your salon coordinator, your receptionist, if there's a difference with that, all your hairstylists, your shampoo person, they have to be educated on that. Every time they put a product in somebody's hair, they need to explain why we're using this product, right? Very important. When you do your consultation, because every time a client come in your salon, you must do a salon consultation. Every time you do a consultation, they must know this is a salon consultation. You're talking about their hair, all that stuff. They must know the products you use, why you're using them, and what treatments you're recommending for their hair, and what products they will need to maintain it at home. Remember, the salon got to be 60% retail, 40% service. Remember that, okay? So how do we put all this stuff together now and operate a successful salon? So here's what the successful salon is going to look like. Client comes in, you're going to have a salon coordinator, which also is your receptionist. Based upon the size of the salon, you could have a receptionist and a salon coordinator, or the salon coordinator could play both roles. They're the ones that's going to be greeting the client, checking to make sure they have an appointment, and they're going to take them to whoever it is that's doing the salon consultation, whether it be the stylist or whoever that is. When the client goes to salon consultation, once the consultation is done, then they're going to execute whatever it is they decide to get done at that point. And so they're going to be moving to the shampoo person, to the hairstylist, whatever it is. At the end of the service, there should be retail items that was recommended for the client to purchase. And those retail items, you should walk your client up to the front desk, up to the checkout point. You're going to walk the client with the products in your hand, or you're going to walk to the front desk and you're going to tell the coordinator she's going to purchase this. And you're going to give those products to the coordinator, the salon coordinator. Now, then you're going to go. The client might tell the salon coordinator, I don't think I need all this stuff. Do I really need all this stuff that she's recommending me to buy? The salon coordinator should be educated to tell them, yes, you do. If the stylist recommended, obviously you will need it. And, based upon our past clients, which if this is true, from what I've seen, the products definitely work. And if you want to maintain your healthy hair and all that stuff that you're doing, you're going to need to get the product. Because if the salon coordinator is not trained in this, guys, and the retail products are sitting on the front desk, and the client says, I don't think I really need all this stuff, then the coordinator is going to be like, yeah, maybe you don't. You see? So every part of the business must flow like a machine, right? Everybody must know their respective role that they're playing. They must know the consequences of this. Hey, hairstylist, if you come in 3 times late, the 3rd time you're fired. Forget it. That's it. We don't want to hear the explanation. Unless there's a family emergency or something, that's it. Everybody must know the consequences of their action. This is our salon. This is how we operate it. If you don't follow these rules, you can't work with us. And you must always be hiring. You're always hiring people. You're always putting out ads out there that you're looking for all the roles that you need to fulfill in your salon. So you're always hiring salon coordinators, hairstylists, whatever your specialty is, those people that specialize in that specialty. You're always hiring those people, because when you have to get rid of somebody else, you don't want to have to start over from the bottom. So you're always hiring, you're always interviewing, right? You're interviewing people, you're telling some people, we'll get back to you. You're telling some people, we're interviewing you right now. We don't have a space right now, but if once a space comes up for your specialty, we're going to get in touch with you. Why? So that when somebody walk off the floor, or when somebody quits, or when you have to fire somebody, you don't think there's, you don't like, oh my God, I can't really fire them, because what am I going to replace them with? You already have replacement in mind. You already have people that you already interviewed that you're thinking of hiring. And also, for the people you think you're hiring, you could even offer them free training sometimes, just for them to be in your back pocket. Like say, hey, you interviewed with us. We're actually having a training class next week, Monday at 10 a.m. in the salon on hair coloring or hairstyling or hair extensions or hair cutting. Do you want to come join us? That would be great, because once we have a spot open, then you'd have already been trained on some of our systems, and you'd be a great person for us to bring onto our team. So this is how other companies do it, guys. Other companies, corporations, whatever it is, they're always hiring, they're always recruiting, they always have somebody they could call, or a few people they could call if there's a hole in their organization, meaning somebody quit or somebody left or there's a family emergency, they could call someone. The same people you're interviewing, if your stylist had an emergency, let's say one of your staff member had an emergency and they had to go away for a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, you could call one of those same person to fill that gap. But that's how you keep the salon running and the organizational chart keep going without missing a beat. Is things gonna happen? Of course. Is everything gonna be perfect? Of course not. We all know that. But the most we could do is prepare ourselves for the inevitable. That way, when it happens, we are prepared. So, the reason why I could say all this stuff is because I've lived every single part of this. I've lived being the hairstylist, to renting the booth, renting a suite, to opening the salon, to everything being on me, to hiring people and having stylists just doing whatever they want or doing everything. And then they walk out with my clients and I have to rebuild the salon clientele again and all that great stuff. I've been there, done that. I'm not telling you anything that I didn't live. But I do know once I start to get older, I realize I need to get trained, and I start getting trained on how to operate a salon as a business and not just as I'm a hairstylist and all my clients are mine and I just do hair. And no, the whole goal when you went to school is, of course, we love to do hair and of course we love to be a cosmetologist. That is great. But what about the end? How do we retire? Because no matter what profession you're in, you're going to have to retire. So what's the retirement plan? Am I going to just do hair until I'm old and can't do hair anymore? And then what? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? So what will happen if you follow what I am teaching you, though, is you will grow the salon as a business. You'll do it as a business, grow it into a business, and then you'll sell it as a business. So that when you're ready to retire, you could sell it as a package and you're selling systems and softwares. That's how you sell a salon, because you can't sell people. So when somebody's selling a business, they can't sell people. They're going to sell the systems and the software. System means on the database. We have a database of all these different clients that we're selling you. And guess what? In your database, on your software, you should have every single client. You should know their birthday, their anniversary, the first time they came to the salon. Because the first time they come to the salon, you're going to make that into an anniversary of the salon. So the 1 year from now, you're going to tell them, oh, it's a year now you've been here. And we're going to do this for you in celebration of the 1 year you've been with us. And every time they get every single solitary thing done, it should be recorded in their file, much like a doctor's office. Every time you go to the doctor record what you got done. Every time your client comes to you, they record it. If you do a color switch, you got to be recorded. Even if it just came in for a wash and blow, they came in just for a wash and blow. They came in just for a wash blow cut. They got hair coloring this time. This time they had some extensions. All this stuff. You have to record this, so it doesn't skip a beat. Why are we recording this? Because if that client came in one day and the last stylist that did their haircut wasn't there, how are we going to know our hair color wasn't there? How are we going to know what kind of formula was used? We don't know. How are we going to know anything? If they did hair extensions, we need to know what kind of hair extensions was done. What kind of hair did we use? And I'm hoping that if you're doing hair extensions, that you're also selling hair products and the hair itself in your salon. That's the 60% retail. If you're going to do hair extensions, ear weave, ear braids, wigs, hair replacement, bald spot, whatever you're doing, make sure you have a supplier that they're getting all of that product from. Why should you do the extensions and then tell them, oh, you got to go to this other place to get the hair? No, 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 no. We'll never get to millionaire status if that's what we're doing. We're going to go seek out a hair supplier, a wig supplier, all that great stuff. Make sure we have good quality. And we're going to tell our clients, this is what we use, this is what we recommend. And if we're going to be doing your hair extensions, ear weave, wigs, whatever it is, this is what we're going to be using. Okay? So hopefully this makes sense, guys. Hopefully this makes sense. I know I've been talking a lot. We do offer complimentary consultations. If you want to explore this more, I do recommend you get the book E-Myth by Michael Gerber, which goes into the very detail of how to create an organizational chart and all that great stuff. If after reading the book you still need help, we are here. We're Millionaire Salon Consultants. And what we do is we help you to grow your salon and your business into the millionaire status and build it to sell it. And we know building it to millionaire status is not instantaneous. We know you're going to probably start out with $100,000 a year, maybe then to $200,000 a year, then maybe then to $250,000 a year, then up to $500,000 a year, then up to $250,000 a year, then up to $1 million a year. So we're not telling you you're going to start from here and just zoom, you're going to get there. But if you listen to what we teach, and if you get us to work with you, either weekly, monthly, or one-on-one, or even invite us into your location so we could come and help you to organize the whole thing, then you will be on your way to get into that millionaire status, which is what we want. We do not want to go to hair salon school, cosmetology school. We don't want to go to cosmetology school. We come up with our license and we work, and all we do is stand behind the chair until we die. No, we stand behind the chair to start out, but eventually we're going to come from behind the chair and then work on our business, not in the business. So first we got to work in the business to get it organized and situated and get all things flowing. But once we do that, then we want to step back and work on the business and have different people on our organizational chart and on our team doing all the other hard work like any other business or organization. Remember to like and subscribe, guys, if you like the content that we're putting out. We should have an email address somewhere in the video if you want to get in touch with us for a complimentary consultation. Thank you so much for listening, guys. I'll see you on the next one.